Tonight, we bring you videos about terror in the air, police protection, Islamic radicals, and your right to bear arms. So get ready, because it's all unfiltered. Hello, I'm Dennis Michael Lynch, and I thank you for joining me on this Friday night. For the past few Friday nights, we've been trying a new format here where we play a few videos that you won't see on mainstream media channels. But they're important for you to see, and they're really important to talk about. With us tonight is Amy Dardashtian. She's an Emmy Award-winning journalist and legal analyst. Also here is Misty Marris. She is a practicing attorney and also a legal analyst here in New York. And at my left is Tom Ruskin. He's a retired NYPD detective and head of the CMP Protective and Investigative Group. All right, Tom, we're going to start with your video. What did you pick, why, and give us a little insight.
My video is a terrorist who takes over a police sergeant's home in Paris and posts how he's killed them, he's killed his wife, and you see the child in the background as he's posting this video expounding his rhetoric.
Play it.
Je prête mon allégeance à Amir al-Mouminin Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Comme arrive à une époque où les tueurs de prophètes, alayhim na'alatullah wa alayhim, nous souhaitent bon ramadan. Quelle humiliation. Attaquer les surveillants pénitentiaires. Et même s'ils s'appellent Mohamed ou Aïcha, tuez-les. Ils sont les bras exécutifs du Tarout. Maintenant, je m'adresse aux musulmans de France. Et le souci du musulman, attaquez ces mécréants par vos moyens. Faites trembler la France et leurs âmes. Soyez la cause pour qu'Allah redonne suprématie à sa religion. Donc élancez-vous et ne pensez pas à vos proches, ni à vos femmes, ni à votre argent. Ne pensez ni à vos proches, ni à vos enfants, ni à vos femmes.
Don't think about your children. Don't think about your wife. Attack the guards, those of you who are in prisons. Attack everybody. You know, Tom, I have a big problem with Islam. A big problem with it. I've had a lot of guests on this show who have said they were Muslims, and then when they got older and they really understood what the back of the Quran was saying, they shifted to Christianity because it was just so violent. I mean, what did we just see?
What we just saw is a man who had taken a police sergeant's life, killed his wife, the police sergeant's wife, and was deciding should he kill the 3-year-old child. And that's what we didn't see in the video, but he debates with himself, should he kill this young, innocent child after he's killed his parents? The good news is the Paris police and the raid forces hit the house and were able to rescue the 3-year-old child and killed him.
Before he actually had the chance, before he made his decision?
Before, as he was debating, as he was making this video, they decided to hit the house and kill him.
Misty, is there any legal device where the social media outlets who allow these sort of things to be posted, can we hold them accountable?
In a situation like this, how could you? This is contemporaneous with the act. This is happening right as he's broadcasting his crime. There's absolutely no way for social media to be on top of that to prevent those types of videos from being posted. All they can do is monitor and filter in the way that they do, but there's no legal mechanism to hold them criminally responsible.
Dennis, I'll tell you this. The good news is when something like this is happening, at the time, it's happening spontaneously, it does give police and law enforcement an eye on where he may be in the house and to be able to better plan a attack plan to take him out.
But also, it gives law enforcement a vehicle to charge people. I mean, this may not be pertinent or have an effect on somebody who's an Islamic terrorist. But, for example, recently there was a young girl who live streamed the rape of her friend. Under the law, and this isn't being enforced, but it really should, if you encourage a crime, you can be held liable as an accomplice. So if something's going on in real time and you're live streaming it and getting likes, even the people who are liking and commenting might be accomplices if they are writing things that are encouraging it to continue. So if we were to enforce that, maybe we would see less of these crimes being live streamed in real time.
I like that idea, because I think one of the things that we suffer from as a society is that, and we talked about this with the Trump, the Trump violators, the protesters. Remember that?
Yes,
I got
I do.
a lot of response from that. They were like, "That you're right on that." Until we use somebody as an example and we really put them high up so everybody can see that example made, you're going to continue to see these things.
But can I also say that the problem is that a lot of the apps, I mean, let's put Facebook and Twitter aside because they do cooperate some with law enforcement and they do take the pages down, albeit on it like a delay, which I don't get. But there are a lot of encoded apps that these Islamic groups, the radical ones, use to recruit people and spread their message. This guy was influenced by somebody who made a speech, not where he's from. He saw that speech on the internet or social media. That influenced him. Now he's spreading his message on the internet. And federal law actually blocks these creators of these apps from having to cooperate with law enforcement. It's ridiculous, and we saw it in the San Bernardino shootings when Apple was disputing whether they had to unlock the phone. Why wouldn't they be required to cooperate with law enforcement if it could save lives?
They went to court and said,
Exactly.
we're not giving the breakthrough, and we're not assisting law enforcement.
Free speech.
We're
It's
not going to cooperate,
Right.
and you're going to have to get outside people, and that's what the law enforcement did.
Right.
They were able to
Ridiculous.
bring in outside people who were able to break that app. Now Apple wants to know how they broke the app because they want to make another fail-safe that doesn't allow law enforcement to do it. I would be damned if I was the FBI if I would cooperate with Apple at all.
These cases that were coming through the court system relating to Apple were leaning towards Apple not having to break into these phones. That's the policy. That's the law. And there's been some interesting arguments that are attempting to say in certain cases, and I think this is the right choice at the end of the day, that it needs to be limited, but in certain cases, especially those concerning terrorism, unlock that phone.
Absolutely. You know, now I want to go to the other part we were just starting to talk about with the social media. I had a guest on here not too long ago, and we were talking about how it was during the Facebook Targets Conservatives movement, if you will, which still continues today, but for some reason we don't talk about it anymore. And he was explaining a case where an Israeli company did a test. They put up a Facebook page with "I hate Palestinians," and then they put up a Palestinian fake page that said "I hate Israelis." They put up the same exact post with the same wording, only just swapping everything, launched them at the same time, reported them to Facebook at the same time. The Palestinian one was allowed to stay. The Israeli one got taken down.
It's ridiculous.
So there is a bias on these social media apps and whatever it may be, which we're also fighting against as well. So the question becomes, and I come back to this, is there a way that we can actually hold them accountable?
I do not see a legal mechanism as we have right now to hold them accountable for the acts of other people. It is a very difficult sell when you don't have the wrongdoer or someone who conspired with the wrongdoer to hold them accountable for a crime.
That's not true. Federal law,
civil
actually,
liability,
it's not true.
maybe?
It's not true. Federal law actually provides immunity for people who are like software developers or app encoders who do not police their content. This under federal law, the second you police your content, you open yourself up to liability. The federal law discourages people from policing content because basically it says, listen, if you have a platform, you're like a telephone carrier. You're just facilitating communication. You don't have to do anything. The second you start getting proactive, people can bring you in and sue you. That's why these people don't want to get involved.
That's absolutely right. And law hasn't caught up to our technology.
That's the biggest
So relative to law enforcement, if you're a cop and you're a law enforcement agency and you're trying to solve a murder, and I got to get into your phone, but it's password protected, Apple won't be forced in federal court to assist me. I have to get outside people to potentially try and break your phone. And what they do is they make a bunch of clones and they work off of the clones. That way they're not blocked out.
You know, you constantly hear the argument that Islam is a beautiful religion and this and that, and there's so many peace-loving Muslims in the world, and it's a small little percentage of those who hate. But if you do the math on that little tiny percentage, it equals the population of the United States of America. So it's the equivalent of going anywhere you want in this country knowing that the person on the other side that you're seeing thinks that A, you're an infidel, and you'd be better with your head chopped off than with it on. That being said, what we're watching right now with this guy, we're watching what took place with Orlando. If the New York Yankees win the World Series, the jerseys for New York Yankees, right, at all the sports stores go up. If the Redskins win the NFL championship, right, the Super Bowl, all that merchandise goes up. The reason being is because people want to be attached to a winning brand. We are allowing this brand to metastasize and grow. It's becoming its own you can do it or just do it Nike sort of thing. People are going out and buying the ISIS jersey, if you will. We're going to see so much more of this. Do you agree?
Let me just make a distinction, because I know that we talk a lot about Donald Trump's proposed ban on immigration, and what connects this Paris video with the recent Orlando attack is that they're both homegrown terrorists, and their only links to these Islamic fundamental networks, it's through social media.
Well,
oh, come on. This guy's father's a freaking maniac. The guy from Orlando.
But a lot of the radicalization really takes place through, and the spreading of the message and the receival of the message is being facilitated by social media.
The radicalization is happening in the mosques.
You also, in this case, you have to prosecute anyone who had any knowledge of this. That's the message that law enforcement and the Justice Department has to send out.
Well, that's what I was talking about.
So
Putting these people
now,
up there.
if his wife knew, the second wife knew, then she's got to go to jail.
In Orlando.
Agree with you. Don't go away. We'll be back.